Okay, we're live. 151. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 151. We're calling this printer dots because I too enjoy counting all the DPI resolutions on every photo that I take to make sure it's accurately 600 DPI.
Printer dots. Better than Dippin' Dots. They're printer dots.
Have you ever had Dippin' Dots?
It's good. I don't know why it's so good. It's just normal ice cream, but it's in tiny balls. It's better. I don't know why.
Because it's frozen with science.
Yes, it is frozen with science. Science makes ice cream better.
So, yeah. So, I'm not a huge fan of Dippin' Dots, but I'm not going to say they're a good novelty. I do like them. They're probably a little more expensive than I want to pay. Because I know I'm cheap. I go to McDonald's and I get the 89-cent ice cream cone. But
there is nothing wrong with that. I just discovered something absolutely horrifying because I'm already pretty fat. There's a Ben & Jerry's, like, not even a 5-minute walk from my apartment, and I didn't know this. I found it the other night. I'm going to be so fat. Just start the time lapse now and go forward in this podcast history for about 2 years. I'm just going to balloon.
Well, maybe you can tell them, put your picture up there and say, don't serve this person.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah, I could self-ban myself from Ben & Jerry's, but I'm not going to do that. It's Ben & Jerry's. That stuff's delicious. So
did you know about printer dots?
I did, and I was actually surprised to see that, they were still relevant anymore and that they had been used, at all. It seems that everyone forgot about this, way back in the day, like, I don't even know when, so I'm not even going to make up the date. Probably around the 1400s, 1500s, governments colluded with printer companies to say, hey, look, when you print something out, make sure there's maybe a time and date stamp, maybe just a serial number. So if there's a printed bomb threat, we can figure out which printer it came from. And the printer companies are all like, yeah, cool. And there's a lot of other stuff. Some people call it censorship. Some people call it protection, where if a printer or scanner recognizes a certain constellation of symbols, it actually won't copy that document. It's got a name, the Euro.
I don't.
It's a constellation, essentially, and it's stamped onto just about every modern currency we have today, which makes it kind of annoying to copy on modern copiers. It's supposed to be a way to defeat the lowest of the low counterfeits, and it does work, sort of.
Well, take a step back. I don't know if you've ever tried to copy money.
I have not.
Good. That's the right answer. The answer is no. You have not. I remember way back in the day, there was a software program where you can put your face on a dollar bill. And I didn't think anything of it. But then I asked my dad, I must have been 10 or 11. And I go, Dad, why can't we use a real dollar? He goes, well, you can't copy it. And so I tried to. Well, I was about to, but then the problem is I didn't have any money, so I couldn't even do that. And then I started looking around the internet. Yeah, you cannot do we just got a scanner at the time, but I'm like, how come the internet doesn't have any pictures of money? And it didn't hit me. It took me a while to realize that this is why, but then I started reading that yes, you cannot copy money because it will call the feds. It will do just about everything to stop you from doing that. You have to find another way to get that. And I just wonder why. Can you take a photo? I don't know if I guess an iPhone can do that. Can you take a picture of a bill?
Yeah, so you can of course make digital representations of money. You can take a picture. Some scanners will scan it for you. There's ways to do it, right? Because counterfeits still happen, and they happen with computers and digital and internet and all kinds of cool stuff. So it's not foolproof by any means. But the Orion constellation is 5 rings. And it basically, any compliant image software will look at that and go, "Oh, this is a no-go here." Some people have recommended, stamping that on official documents that you don't want people altering or making copies of. And it's a decent idea. It's probably, easily circumvented, I would imagine. You take a nice abrasive eraser and just remove one of the 5 rings and you're golden. Not that I'm recommending you counterfeit money, because that would be dumb to print it out on your home printer. But yeah, lots of tech.
But basically, if you didn't know it, it's one of those things that everyone knew and forgot. Like, I forgot when I heard the story they were about to tell you, but I just knew you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it at work. You couldn't do it anywhere because it would send up red flags. So, by the way, if you don't know, this is just a tip, that when you copy something at work or at home, the copy machine has a hard drive and everything gets stored. So if you don't know that, just be aware of that. So if you're copying your resume to send to a new company and they catch you, they're going to use that as evidence against you because they will get it. Or it's a security risk because nobody ever sits there and clears the cache. So just FYI.
Yeah, I've talked to some security people that have actually found really damning financial documents on copiers and printers, because the hard drives are just chock full of this stuff. Now, your standard flatbed scanner that you've got sitting at your home, does it, have a hard drive in it per se? Yeah, probably not. Those big multifunction Xerox or Ricoh machines definitely have those. They've actually got full-fledged operating systems underneath of them. There's a great security researcher that has done a ton of stuff with printers, copiers, all these big multifunction devices, by the name of Daryl Hyland. He works for Rapid7 now. Great company, great pen tester, great security researcher, and my own personal buddy, for full disclosure. He's pretty well known for hacking those and basically making them do whatever he wants them to do inside of your corporate network. He's a pretty rad guy. So yeah, these things have a lot of power behind them and a whole lot of tech that lots of people forgot about or just never knew.
And I think to answer your question, why you're not going to put this on every document, it's because it does take some work. It does take some time to do. And then we're watering down what it really means. So I'm throwing in the show notes right now, and I'm actually doing it this time, is the Wikipedia entry on this Orion constellation, so you too can see it, and on what money it is. Because at the end of the day, it is, it sounds like, and it looks like that it should be on the money, because money is obviously important. And if you start putting on everything, we're going to have problems. So I wonder, can we put it on? Can we do this? Can we put it on?
Well, so multifunction devices, right? All they're looking for is this constellation of shapes, right? We don't have to have special access to use this, or a special patent or a signed driver to print this on stuff. I'm sure I could make a document, make a stupid line drawing of a stick figure dude and a stick figure house, and mark it with this constellation, and it may or may not be copyable. That's definitely something to try out.
I now know what I have 15 days left to work this year. I will now try and draw this on my exams and see if I can make this watermark it on the exams so the kids can't copy it.
You should absolutely do this and report back.
I once had a bubble reader machine in my room, so we tried every little thing that you can do. Take a nickel to the line edges, smear some Vaseline on it, use different things. The only urban legend that actually works is you can't do it in pen. If you do it in pen, you get a 0. So don't do that. But anyway, so why are we talking about all of this? So I guess what's today? On Monday, I think it was, some NSA contractor leaked information to The Intercept, and she got caught based on these printer dots. That's the short answer.
Yeah, the printer dots and a bunch of other stuff, which we'll go into. Really, there was just no good security by anyone, by the person doing the leaking and by the people receiving the leaks. It was just a mess all around. But the printer dots basically said, okay, this document was printed at this date, this time, by this serial number. And the NSA, looked into logs and they said, hold on a minute. Someone printed a classified document from a printer with this serial number on this date at this time. And look at this. The PDF on the website still shows our printer dots, and they're an exact match. The person who printed this document leaked it to the Intercept, and now we have them. There's so many things wrong here. First off, you printed something. I've got personal beef with printing things. I don't like printers. I don't like paper. But beyond that, you printed it at work.
What about gluten-free paper? Let me stop you there. Is it just a
gluten-free paper?
I don't know. Is it like you just don't like killing trees, or like papyrus, or can we do some renewable paper? Or just
I'm only a fan of rice paper, and it has to be free-range rice paper. Yeah. Okay. I don't like any of that rice farm stuff. The factory rice. I need free-range, gluten-free, visually curated rice paper.
Democratically sourced.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, because I don't like printers too, because printers and I don't work. It's everyone's like, oh, you can do computers. I can't do printers. Like, cannot do it. I'm like the guys in Office Space with the baseball bat.
So there are two technologies. I am not a religious man, but there are two technologies that the devil himself, if there is one, created. He created printers. And he created the plain old telephone system, POTS lines. And then the super devil took these two technologies and he mushed them together and he made the fax machine, the unholy abomination of technology. The fax machine will end us all one day, mark my words.
Yeah, but you got to get the lawyers off of them. That's the other problem.
Yeah, and the doctors.
So the doctors still have pagers for that matter. Okay, so you don't like paper and you don't like printers. We got this. And this is what this person did. Yeah,
so there was that. There was the, I'm going to do this all on my work computer. I'm going to email the Intercept and subscribe to their blog updates on my work email address. The list just goes on and on and on. There are two different stories on Twitter by two different people that detail basically all of the just massive failures that both the Intercept and the leaker went through to just seal their fate. The Intercept sure didn't do this person any favors, but they weren't really looking out for themselves anyway, from what it looks like. I won't even go into it.
Well, look,
I was about to rant.
I mean, we were in the WhatsApp group, and right before this happened, I was commenting that the Intercept became political. So we used to I used to praise the Intercept, like, wow, they're doing all these good things. They're sourcing leaks. They're talking about spying and surveillance, and then their popularity exploded. And they hired all these different authors with your job is to go basically anti-government, sort of, and they became very, very, very far left, and it looks like they have a political agenda. So I started reading everything with a grain of salt, and every once in a while you would get a really good story and say, okay, maybe I'm going to start reading this again. There's a cryptography story or something like that. And then you read something else and say, why did they post this? This is not for them to post if this is their mission. But on, I guess, Monday, well, I don't know how this happened, but basically, I guess somebody said, hey, I have this information. They want to leak it. And the Intercept just said, okay, send it to us. I mean, essentially, okay, send it to us. What the Intercept should have said is, if you want to leak, here's our website. This is what you need to do. By the way, you have to access it via Tor and send it to us that way. The Intercept doesn't want the source. They just want the information. So it should have been anonymous to begin with. And basically they didn't do it. And people said, well, this person should have known. They work for the NSA. And I go, yes, but I don't know, they forgot. They did something really stupid. The Intercept, this should be on their email signature. This should be the first thing that sends out, have a leak. This is how you go about it. Don't contact us unless it's PGP, or only contact us via Signal. We don't want to know who you are. Use these services. And they didn't. They really did drop the ball. Everyone's at fault, but I want to say that they're more at fault. I don't know.
I actually agree. While this person is a contractor for the NSA, they should have known better, et cetera, et cetera. When it comes down to it, it's not their profession to be a secure leaker, right? That's not their job. However, it is the Intercept's job to obtain leaks, to publish leaks, to do, good secure journalism, and to protect their sources. And they've done none of that. As a matter of fact, the Intercept has, in no small part, contributed to this person's arrest because of their, I have to say, ineptitude when it came to this particular person and their information. So they tri-folded this piece of paper and presumably mailed it or handed it to someone in the Intercept. The Intercept scans it, like in a scanner, and posts that PDF online, just carte blanche. There's no retyping, there's no touching up, there's no anything. It's just, here's the scan, here's the PDF. And so the folds show up online. It shows up on their website. The FBI puts out a document, and the arrest warrant, section 13 here, it says, we examined the document shared by the news outlet and determined that the pages of the intelligence reporting appeared to be folded and or creased, suggesting they had been printed and hand carried out of a secured space, meaning they used the folds to further implicate this person. There were so many things wrong, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. So the Intercept didn't redact anything. They didn't retype anything. They just posted just the flat up scan, which left in the printer dots.
Well, look, to the Intercept's credit, I mean, they did not censor anything. They took everything they had and they just put it online. As it looks like, as they got it, it looks like there was very little time. There was no vetting of this. Is this good? Is this bad? They just put it up, which is, I don't know my definitions of journalism, but that seems like they are just putting everything up for nonpartisan, not everything. So that's a good thing. The problem is
that's good. They should have retyped it.
They should have found another way. They should have taken a picture of it. They should have been aware of the printer dots. They should have done some other stuff. What was it? Make it a PDF and then do something.
They could type it up. They could just like essentially clip out the text areas. Someone who is really secure and really wants to get rid of metadata would, prop it up next to their computer screen and sit there and retype the doc by hand into a brand new Word doc. And so when someone pulls it and they look for printer dots, oh, look, there's no printer dots, there's no creases, and all of the metadata says, hey, it came from someone's desk at the Intercept. That's how you protect a source. And
they didn't do that. And the problem is now is if you want to leak something, you want to whistleblow or whatever you want to call it, you're going to now think twice. You're going to say, where should I go? And the Intercept made their name for doing that. And now, unfortunately, whether it was intentional or not, that may end the Intercept, or no one's going to come forward. They're going to at least address.
I do not see the Intercept getting any more leaks by anyone who actually cares. There are several, great news outlets out there. The New York Times, The Guardian. They both have, I want to say they've got secure drop to our sites, so you can just drop stuff in. I know the New York Times and The Guardian, you can get them on Signal. They publish Signal phone numbers. Hey, contact us, send us your stuff. You could use a burner phone. There are so many better ways. I don't understand how this happened, because the Intercept, I thought, was pretty well run.
They do have secure drop. Like I said, they do have it. So the person who's handling this, the initial email, that should be the first thing. Please don't talk to us. Please send us via secure drop. And your only response should be, I don't know how to set that up.
Yeah, and if they don't, you can provide them. Like if you get an email, let's say I'm the Intercept, I get an email that says, hey, I've got all this crazy information, I'm totally going to leak it. Reply, stop, don't do anything. Here's your nice instruction booklet on Secure Drop, how to set it up, how to use it, and how to get stuff to us safely. By the way, here's a sheet of OPSEC tips, written by Swift on Security and the Gruck. Just go forth and leak, but do so in a way that keeps yourself safe.
I mean, they have it. I'm looking at theintercept.com/leak. So they do have it. The problem is that
I don't know how.
they didn't. This should be like the first thing that comes to them.
Yes.
Thank you for contacting us. Please follow this before continuing. And if they got anything, they should say, I don't know.
They could have their mailboxes, like they could have leaks at the Intercept or something, and have all emails be instantly like trashed, shredded, delivered to dev null, go into the ether of nothingness, not even stored on disk or RAM anywhere, and the system automatically replies back, "Hey, cool for contacting us. Here's your secure drop instructions." There were so many better ways to do this. That said, the leaker had no OPSEC. Using the work computer to email the Intercept and printing out a document at work, and there are so many. This is literally a how-to guide on how to very, very dangerously leak documents. This is a how-to guide to get yourself arrested by intelligence agencies.
So, I mean, I don't think we need to sit here and explain what to do and what not to do, but it's just very simple. Anything you do on a work computer, and we've had episodes on this, on how to scrub it clean and to do this, just remember your work computer owns everything you do.
Yes.
So whether they're keylogging or listening through the microphone or turning on the webcam, they can do all that, and you're pretty limited on recourse. So if you're going to do anything, please don't do it from work. Like I don't.
Yeah, I actually, and I've been guilty of that too, right? I used to mix, my personal life and my work life a whole lot. Working on work stuff on my personal laptop, sometimes out of necessity, sometimes out of sheer laziness. Now I've happy to say, and kind of annoyed really, because it is really annoying to try to put those things in their own separate boxes. But I only do work stuff on my work computer, I only do personal stuff on my personal computer, and nary the two shall meet, because that is a dangerous place to be. But yeah, we could beat this thing to the ground. The big thing to take away is do not leak stuff in the way that this person did, and do not leak it to the Intercept.
Yes. And I think I asked somebody, I was talking to someone who works for the government, and I said, can you look at this? Not this, but they looked at like the website. I think it was the Intercept or some sort of story, and it came back filtered. We cannot show you this. So not that it's top secret or classified information, but I think the website itself was blocked.
I wouldn't doubt it. The Intercept has kind of made their name on showing, classified documents to people. And if you're in a secured environment, you're technically not allowed to read that stuff. So it's again, I mean, I want to end on a different question. We have a few minutes left. One of the people in our chat group asked, should I use SMS, the two-factor SMS on my Google password as like the ultimate last resort? And the answer is sorta. And again, it goes back to what's your threat model. I initially said, you know what? If you're at that level where somebody's trying to get your SMS code because they failed the fingerprint and they failed the trusted review and the I'm not a robot and everything else, then they're going to get in anyway. But if you're just doing it just because you don't want angry girlfriend or angry spouse or angry ex to figure it out, then you know what? Just leave it on, because it's the last sort of authentication method. There's also, I mean, you're exactly right. It does depend on your threat model. But if you are being specifically targeted, if somebody is really trying to get in your account, they could try to port your number to another cell phone company, right? They go to Verizon or AT&T and go, hey, I've got this phone number. I need you to port it. Oh, but I don't have the SIM, or I lost it, or I dropped my phone in the ocean, or make up a story and obtain your phone number that way. And then, they've got your SMS code. So it depends. It's definitely a risk to keep it on. But it's an availability risk to turn it off, right? If that's your last way in and you run out of all other ways, you're kind of out of luck. I'm a personal fan of, keeping security codes locked away somewhere safe where you can get to them if you need them. Google's got their offline backup codes, which is great. I don't necessarily have a major issue with keeping it on, but I don't.
It's if you're in a place where you don't have internet service, but you have SMS service. Because remember, SMS, maybe not anymore, used to run on, you need cell service. You don't need data. So if you can get cell service, you can probably get an SMS message. But you have the time, but then again, you have the time code. So I don't know. I guess it's a model of convenience for you. I guess I have it on just because I've been too lazy to turn it off. But like you said, it's the last one on. It's the very, very last one.
Yeah, and there's other backup methods. You can set up, a backup email address and other things to try to give yourself backdoor ways, or really front door ways into your Google account if you've forgotten your password or lose your second factor, stuff like that.
I mean, my other problem,
safer than SMS.
My other problem is that if I log into Gmail from an unknown computer, I have a symphony of devices telling me,
yes,
did you do this? Because my primary email is backed up to my secondary email. The secondary is backed up to the primary email. So if I log into one, I get it 10, 15 times. So if I'm trying to get in and everything else, and let's say they got the SMS, we noticed that you got this on somewhere else, I know something's up, and Google will let you block it from there.
Yeah, it's so I actually just went through this. My grandmother bought a new phone, and I got the message, hey, you're listed as a backup account or backup contact for this Google account. Did you purchase a new device? Did you log into this phone? And so I immediately called her. What are you doing? She said, oh, I'm at AT&T. Oh, okay. Cool. You bought a new phone. Okay, awesome. Just making sure.
And that's how it should absolutely work.
Yes, it should. It was great because I thought she had clicked on a phishing link and thrown all of her details to the wind, and it turns out she was just getting a phone upgrade. So, that's cool. And it also, gave me the chance to call my grandmother because I'm a good grandson.
And I just want to point out she got a smartphone.
Oh, she did. She was on a Nexus 5, not a 5X, like an OG Nexus 5 for the longest time. And she just upgraded to some Galaxy phone. I think the J7, J8.
The Samsung Galaxy J Jitterbug.
Yeah, it's one of their cheaper models, but she takes pictures and she plays offline poker. So,
I was going to say, she takes pictures, makes phone calls, and text messages, which is what 90% of everyone else does.
Yeah, my grandmother has recently discovered the emoji keyboard. That was a mistake.
Yeah. Well. So anyway, with that, we're gonna. So if you can disable SMS, it's a good idea. If you're one of those people who constantly forget passwords and forget how to do these things, as a convenience, you probably should leave it on. It's, again, who are you hiding from? And going from there, because if you just don't want, if you're somebody of interest, it's going to be an issue. If you're just a normal person, this probably will never affect you, and it's going to end up being more of a problem than it solves. So otherwise, I have nothing else. I have no more stories.
That's not it for me.
Nothing else. Nothing really happened the last 2 weeks. We were talking about this before the show. We see how long we could talk on printer dots. We figured we needed to have a show, but nothing other than the former director of the FBI is about to testify tomorrow is of any value. And when you hear this, you're going to hear about all the commentary. So you're hearing this in the future, but really in the past. So
by this point, you will be sick of the commentary.
Yeah. So, and then hopefully we'll have some other we'll have some explanation on what was said, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we're going to say goodbye and we will see you next week.
See everyone.
Bye. Let's hit stop.